Hi, this is Lisa Kekaula, and you are listening to the Urban Influencer #1 platform for independent artists.
Good afternoon. It's your girl, Yolanda Neely. Welcome to the Urban Influencers podcast. I have the honor of speaking to this young lady right here, Lisa Kukala. Kukala.
Kekaula,
Okay,
that's it.
Kate Kala. See, you know what? I knew I still was going to mess up your name, but Kate
It's all
Kala.
right.
I got it now. How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And, before we go into the song, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm from California, California born, live in California. Spent most of my life being a singer, and I'm really just grateful that I've been able to do that. So that's
Okay.
it's been my dream since I was a kid.
Wow. Okay, so you've been in the music game for a long time. Uh, what part of Cali? LA? What part?
I'm originally born in Los Angeles, but I live
Mhm.
out in Riverside. So
Okay.
that's like on the way to Coachella for
Okay.
people that don't want to kind of put it in their head.
Right, right. Have you performed at Coachella?
Yeah, years ago with another group that I played with called the Basement Jacks.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So what's your vibe? What's your kind of music? What's your specialty?
I have my own rock band, and that's what I've been putting most of my energy into for most of my life, most of my music life, an independent punk rock soul band called the Bell Rays that I've always promoted. And I just do things like, projects that I really like when I'm asked to do them.
Mhm.
And this happened to be one of them, this Black Needle Noise cover.
Okay. Um, wow, you don't meet too many sisters of color that do rock, punk rock.
You
I
ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell.
Okay, so I
But
just
it
thought I'd
belongs
say
to
that.
us. It belongs to
Yeah.
us. I always feel like, people talk about that too, the whole rock thing. That's so unique. I said, no, it isn't. Who do you think Mick Jagger was trying to be? He was
Mm,
trying to be Tina Turner.
yes,
That's
he
who he was
was.
trying, and he made billions doing
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
we kind of get locked out of that a lot. So, and
exactly.
LaBelle, we think about like where would we be without LaBelle back in the
Mhm.
day? So I think the world would be a worse off place if we didn't have that in the beginning to
Right.
set ourselves and sights up to that rock area. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's kind of where my heart is
Oh,
there.
wow, that is so awesome. That is so who are some of your influences in the
um
rock world?
a
Music
lot of
yeah.
well of I always consider people like Patti LaBelle to be
Mhm.
part of the rock world. I think of people like Etta James to be part of the rock
Mm,
world, and
okay.
the level of screaming and stuff that they used to do. Roger Daltrey
Mhm,
from the Who.
mhm.
There's I think of guys like Lou Rawls as being
Wow.
very rock and roll, and have because those are the things that sound like me. Stevie Wonder is very rock and
Mhm.
roll as far as I'm concerned.
Right. You're the first person I have ever asked that question to, and I've been doing radio for, like, almost 40 years. Whoever brought up Lou Rawls, people forget about artists like that. I had the honor, and when I was a young girl, to go see him. I'm from New York, out in Westbury, and I remember he opened up with Dionne Warwick. What
Uh,
a show. I was, like, 12 years old.
and that level of music professionalism, because a lot of
Mhm.
people don't realize, and I'm not from the East Coast, but there was
Right.
a special thing happening over there where people like Dionne Warwick and Lou Rawls and Sam Cooke and
Mhm.
Whitney Houston, like all, if you want to
Yes.
connect the dots to all of that stuff, it was a
Mhm.
very special situation. And Aretha Franklin, of course.
Yes, of
but
course.
but all of that stuff comes from these people that just kept paying it forward and kind of
Mhm.
teaching other people and finding real jewels, real
Right.
talent out there and nurturing it. And Lou Rawls, I think everything that Frank Sinatra ever wanted to be,
Mhm.
he heard Lou Rawls do it first.
You know what? I think you're probably right, and we don't give credit where credit is due to artists
Mm-mm.
like that. And the main reason why I do know about artists, because my dad was, like, into artists. He was, like, into the Lou Rawls. He was
Mine
into,
too.
it's and a lot of jazz. I mean, he introduced me to Dinah Washington and Sarah Vaughan and Brooke Benson. I mean, people, I still have his collection. I, go back on vinyl and I listen to a lot of that stuff that, our kids are not even privy to at
No.
this particular time because it was, pre-downloads and stuff like that.
Yeah, pre-downloads, and it also was like, you have the whole thing about jazz. That was my gateway music too. It was
Mhm.
like that was the whole thing where you trying to shake somebody. You're not trying
Yes,
to actually keep everybody in the game. That was the
exactly.
way that they stayed hot. You had trumpet players like Lee Morgan and people
Mm,
that were really pushing the world in a way that you just didn't know somebody could swing that hard. Somebody could be that
wow.
cool. So
Yes.
that's the kind of stuff. In fact, a guy like Lee Morgan is a great rock and roll influence to me too, because of the way he played and how he did what he did and just the flair. It was
Mhm.
so much of that.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us about Black Needle Noise and, the project that you've been working on with them.
So this was all pandemic times.
Mhm.
Remember those times.
Yes. When nobody could leave the house
We
and
were
find
actually
things
under,
to
yes,
do.
it was during that time. It was like one of those severe lockdown times where someone was trying to get a song done and they couldn't get to a studio, and a friend of mine just happened to say, "Hey, have you ever heard of Lisa?" And the guy said, "I'll give her a try." And so he just kind of sent me the the music and everything and said, I need this done and I need it like yesterday because we just got to hurry up and
Okay. Okay.
and get it done. And it was just kind of getting a beat on it and feeling like, oh, this is this is something I could really
Mhm.
I could really enjoy this. So that's basically how the it's not all the glamour and everything, but it is all the heightened emotional intensity that
Right.
you got to get
So
it done.
were you a little bit leery of doing a song that was already a huge hit?
Um, I'm, you know, the way I've always, I mean, look at this. I'm a black woman singing rock and roll. I
Got you.
obviously don't listen to what the world says things
Okay,
should
I got
be.
you.
I don't scare easy. Fear
Okay.
is not really a thing that I do as much as maybe I probably should, but
No, not at all. Because I mean, your version of the song is just like, wow, okay. I mean, the
thank you.
vocals were like, and I hear that rock edge now that you're saying because your voice is very powerful. So and to be a rocker, you gotta have some power behind those, in those chops. So I do hear it. Do you play as well?
Just the tambourine. I'm not really I've never
Okay.
really been good at anything else.
I was gonna say, I mean, you grab a guitar and rock it out.
I wish I always act like I can, but I
Okay.
never can.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, I definitely want people to hear a little bit of Rise Up, and I'm sure everybody's gonna like, that's Andra Day. No, this is Lisa. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's hear a little bit of it, so our listeners can hear what you're doing, hearing the job that you are doing.
Thank
Because
you.
now I'm not gonna give them too much because I need them to go ahead and buy this, download it, get the project, and they can have it for their own personal use to be riding around.
Yeah.
So, so tell me more about this girl, you
So
glowing. I'm just saying. I mean, on vocals,
it's
it just keep like, whoa, it just
it's important to preface like what I was told when like what this was for. It was
okay.
for this a movie about the whole George Floyd thing that had
Mm,
happened.
okay,
So it was it was like that was in the forefront of my mind when I was
got you.
tracking the
Okay.
whole thing.
Yeah, because you can hear it, in spite of everything that has happened, what you have done to my brother here,
Yep.
you putting your knee in his back and him not breathing, killing him, murdering him, and I'm in Brunswick, Georgia. So okay, so we had Ahmaud Arbery. Okay, so I get this, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I do, I get what you and that's what I said, I can feel that power,
Yep.
Andra Day did a wonderful job, it's a song, but you just took it, I could feel it, I could feel that,
A
you
lot
know
more sorrow in
Yes.
where I think I was coming from,
Mhm.
and I know that the song is about rising up, but it was really it helped it not be such a dark moment to just kind
Right.
of be saying those words and feeling those feelings at the same
Mhm.
time to
Right.
do it. So I'm really grateful to have had an opportunity to cover that tune.
Absolutely. Is the movie out yet or
That I don't know. I haven't
okay.
really I think if you know how they do with movies now, they take them on those
Yeah.
circuits to,
Yeah.
independent films, especially films like that. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I can see myself sitting in a theater and hearing you, just belt out that song. I mean, I can just like you'll probably have me crying. You probably have me crying because you can hear that. You can hear that sorrow.
Thank you.
So Black Needle Noise, what's after this? What are you gonna continue to do? Or is
Um,
that the only song that you did with them?
I did another song with them. It was I don't know if it's actually released yet, so
Okay.
I can't really remember, but we, so much of it was just like, okay, we got to get this stuff together. We got to try to work behind the scenes.
Okay.
And so much of it was done during the pandemic that it's like,
Gotcha.
oh, that was, that was almost 2 years ago. No,
Right?
that was 2 years ago.
Was 2 years ago. It's hard to believe that it's kinda really, like, hard to believe we even live
I
that.
know. I know. It
Mhm,
does. It seems like a dream that
mhm,
that happened, but it
mhm,
was literally everything was on pause. So
mhm.
everything that, especially as a musician, and being in the music industry and being a DJ, so much of it is just predicated on, well, we only got a week, we only got
Mhm.
2 weeks, we only have a month before blah blah blah. So as soon as I started doing things where it was more spread out, I
Right.
found it was really hard to keep track of. Okay, when did I do that thing?
Mhm.
What was I gonna get done?
Yeah,
And you're
and,
getting stuff done, but you just can't
yeah,
place it like you can a tour or these
mhm.
other things that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate. I mean, my life really just stopped. I mean, lost job, everything. I was just sitting around like, okay, where do I go now? What do I do? I mean, I didn't know what was gonna
Yeah,
happen after that because I mean, literally, I felt for my musician friends and reggae people and all of that because your life
it was
was
done.
credit. That's it. Your life. That's your dollar.
Or
That's your living.
you looked at it like it was done, and then
Yeah.
you found, wait a minute, people still need music. They can't go. Nobody anywhere can go
Mhm,
out to do
mhm.
any of this stuff. So my husband and I, who's in the band with me, we just started doing stuff live on Facebook and on
Wow.
Instagram. We just started doing like once a week,
Mhm.
kind of get together, keep everybody, you know, happy, motivated, and it really helped us kind of get through that and keep track of, okay, at least we know on Tuesday and Thursday we're gonna
Yes.
go we're gonna go online and play music. So that was another way that we kept the calendar kind of moving forward and
It's
not
it's
just stuck.
it's funny that you said that because I decided to do something similar on Saturday mornings. I knew that people were home, so I got on live on Facebook. I couldn't believe it took
Yep.
everything within my soul and my being to do that
Girl,
because
I know
I
what
mean,
you're talking about. It
in
took
the
a leap of
yeah, because in
faith
my
and everything
yes,
else.
because in my radio world, I'm in a box, I'm in a room, me and the microphone
Yeah.
talking to people. But now I'm in a room, but
Yep.
I'm live on Facebook and we started the Saturday morning cleanup. So while people were up early and I
Hey.
was playing like all the old school jams, and Facebook would kick me off. I come back on because you only play so much. But
Oh,
I was
that's right. They did that to
yes.
people that were
Yeah,
playing. Oh my God, I forgot
like
about that.
DJ Nice, I we kinda bit off of him. I like, "You know what? Let me do something like that." And I had all my equipment out and I started doing my thing and everybody was hitting me up. And then I had to realize that that moment gave me some confidence that I
Yeah.
never had before because I've worked in so many different markets and people would hit me up, Miami, Nashville, Savannah. Yo, yo, there you go. I was wondering what happened to you. And then I started to connect and by doing that, I build up a
Yep.
fan base.
Yep.
All of a
Yep.
sudden, I had people listening to me. The next thing I got a phone call, "Hey, how would you like to do mornings over here?" I'm like, "Yeah, oh,
Oh,
okay."
and
And totally
see,
and totally out my genre because I've always did R&B and gospel, but now I'm doing, the '90s and more. So, yeah, I'm playing, Maroon 5 and all those different
that's
songs. Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, the Killers and stuff like that, the Backstreet Boys, all that great '90s music, I'm playing it now, and I'm loving it. I'm like my friend's like, "Alrighty then, what happened to you after the pandemic?" we stretched.
Yeah, we
We grew.
stretched. That's a great way to put it. We stretched. We just said, you know, I got a little time. I'm getting a little extra sleep. Doing this other stuff.
Mhm.
What can I do that actually is good for me, good for
Right.
my soul? And it also happens to be good for other people, because obviously I know just from your vibe right now that you started doing that stuff and people were just chiming in
Yes.
right in the
Yes.
Facebook live, and
Exactly.
that is invigorating. Like, you don't even know.
Mhm.
I was one of those singers that like never really, I don't banter. I didn't do any of
Mhm.
that stuff. I didn't talk because I said, I'm up here to sing. That's what I'm here to do.
Right. Is
I'm not wasting anybody's time. When you're on Facebook Live, you got everything going wrong that's going right. You're trying to make
exactly.
sure your camera's working, trying to make sure this other stuff is going, and
Mhm.
people are really into that. People are
Mhm.
really forgiving of whatever it is that you do in the
Absolutely.
world. So it was
Absolutely.
a very good communal time that we got
Mhm.
with the
I'm
pandemic.
I'm looking forward to going back out and doing it again, going live and just start having some more fun. I haven't done it in a while because now real life has kicked in. I'm
I
working
know.
and
I know.
and this format has opened me up to doing so much more I was
I'm
doing
sure.
before.
I'm
So
sure.
DJing over here and I'm like, I'm not really the best DJ, but once you know the music, you're good. That's all people want to hear. Good
If you have an
music.
opinion that is rock solid and
Mhm.
rooted,
Mhm.
it's all good.
It's all good, and I'm serious because 'cause I've been so busy, so on the weekends, everybody, "Why you don't do it anymore?" I'm like, Okay, Imma come back, I promise," but it was so much fun, but again, my
Mhm.
it took me my nerves, I used to pray every
It was
time I was
hard.
it
I
was
know
hard.
exactly what you're talking about,
I
Yolanda.
used to
There
feel
was one
like,
of those
"Lord."
things where
Mhm,
I was not, it had to be a pandemic for
mhm,
me to
yes,
say, I'm going to do this thing.
yes, absolutely,
I had every
absolutely.
excuse in the world to not do it before the pandemic.
Girl, I was like, "You ain't lose enough weight. You ain't
That's
do this." I was like, and you
all
gonna be
these
in front of
things.
me, okay, you okay, did you put on quarantine 15 or whatever? And, but I didn't do that, but at least I was like but that was what it was because 'cause you're so
It was.
worried about the visual and how you're gonna look, and, man, people did not give a darn about your looks or this, they wanted to hear, "Girl, you jamming." That's all I kept
That's
hearing,
it.
"Girl, you
That's
jamming."
it. And you take them back somewhere. That's
Mhm,
the magic of DJing and playing music that people
mhm.
relate to in those moments when they really just need that moment of escape, and you
Mhm.
give that to them. Oh,
Exactly, and yeah, and it would be old school jams. I mean, I used to play stuff Mother's Finest, all of that.
oh,
You know what I mean? I'm
there's
taking you
one.
back that's what I'm
There's
saying.
one that I forgot to mention.
Mother's
Mother's
Finest
Finest is a great Mother's Finest and Betty Davis.
and Betty
Both of
Davis, that's
those.
right. Oh my gosh, I used to play stuff like Roy Ayers' Ubiquity.
Uh,
Come on. People don't know about Roy Ayers.
I
They
don't
don't
think I
know.
know.
Oh, you don't know Roy Ayers?
No, I'm not.
You
Oh,
you
Roy Ayers.
yeah.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
I
my New
know
York
Roy
came out.
Ayers.
I got that New York really did come out. I had a New Yorker that I interviewed today. He brought it all back out on me.
Oh my
That's it.
god.
Yeah, I got to like, it's like water. Okay,
Yeah, that's some expansive stuff. Roy
yeah.
Ayers,
Mhm,
man,
mhm.
that's I mean, there's DJs that weren't like
Around.
house DJs that
Yeah.
still just bang that out because they didn't
Mhm.
even know. They didn't
Exactly.
even know about it then, and they're just like, everybody still needs to know about it right
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the stuff that I was playing on Saturday morning, and people would hit me up like,
now.
"Yo,
Nice.
I'm like, this is what I love. This is what I do." So, now that I'm talking about it, I'm getting that itch again. So I
That's
think
wonderful.
I'm just gonna jump on. You should do it too. Just, let people out there just like, hey, just for a little blip, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's
just like
good.
I'm still here because, so are you touring again? Are you back out on the road? What's
We
up?
started going back on the road last year, and
Mhm.
I put my toe in, and I was really happy that we didn't have to cancel any shows. We didn't have to do anything. So we did a very brief spring tour over in Europe, and then went back again. I think all of the stuff that we actually got to do was all in Europe. Our
Okay.
US tour kind of got messed up because of scheduling, but hopefully
Gotcha.
this year we'll be doing some US stuff, but going
Okay.
back to Europe again this year.
That is so awesome. Well, I'm happy for you, Lisa, and I love your vibe. Not only do I love your voice and, your music, but I do, love your vibes. Do you have any other projects, your stuff, so people can know how to get you and listen to
I
you?
actually do. I'm getting ready to go to Spain to do this really cool thing called Lisa and the Lips. It's a funk group that we do. It pops up every now and again because it's like 8 pieces, and that's just too many people to actually have to corral year
Mm,
round. So so we
I
just do a
gotcha.
little bit. So we're going over to Spain for 2 weeks to do some shows there. But they can find all that out at lisakekaula.com, lisakekaula.com, or they can go to my Instagram, which is at Lisa K. Kaula.
Oh,
Same
wow.
spell.
I'm definitely after this, I'm gonna just, like, look you up and, you
And
got
I have a
the
group called the Bell Rays. That's my rock group, the Bell Rays, THEBELLRAYS.
okay,
And but I pop up on so many other things that,
okay.
people may have already heard some stuff I've done. I don't
Wow.
know. Depends
Okay,
on what they're
okay,
dipping their toe in.
okay. So definitely oh my gosh, I'm definitely looking forward to, just, Googling. I'm sure you have a lot of YouTube videos out there so people can check you out for
Of
sure.
course, there's always those.
Hey, you
I know.
Google
I love
and
it all. It's
YouTube.
just so much to correct. Like in my mind, always trying to corral where's that thing and where's this
Mhm.
other thing that was supposed to be the thing that you promote. Like there's so much content, and then there's always not enough content. So
Right, right, exactly. Exactly, exactly. So, so people can just check out your vibe and check out your stuff because,
please do,
yeah,
please check it out, please.
absolutely.
It's between a lot of worlds that used to not really, people say they didn't blend, but they totally blended.
Mhm,
Rock and soul and funk and rock, and it's all from, if I can say it, the Black American experience. So all
mhm.
of those things are coming from there, and they all still belong to us.
Absolutely, absolutely. It does. I mean, we're jazz, we're soul, we're
We're all of
blues.
those. We're whatever we want to be.
Mhm,
And there seems to be a very distinct, like a wall up that kind of just says, oh, you know what? Rock is just for guys, just for white guys. That's it. Those are that we will accept. This other stuff, not so much. But I ain't
Well,
scared.
no, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's so funny 'cause, our station is getting ready to do, like, this type of, it's kinda like a alternative rock, but not too deep, but it's gonna be different,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Yo, would you be interested in doing middays?" And I was like, "Well, you know what? I am. I'm thinking about it." So I'm really
Wonderful.
yeah, just do it for the company. I am. So they're supposed to be kicking that off next month, and I've been pondering with the idea because again, I do the 90s and more. So I like this will really stretch me. This will definitely,
Stretch.
but it's gonna be like it's gonna be very various. I mean, you'll probably hear some of that kind of little old school hip hop, but yet
Hmm.
still you're gonna hear mostly rock, and it's just gonna be a mixture of a lot of just some great tunes. So I'm seriously thinking about it. I think you kinda put the bug in me now, cause yeah,
Good.
you did, you really did. I mean, I think you gave me a little you gave me that little nudge, cause I was like, "I don't know now, my folks are already saying, 'Yo.'"
No, but what you said, the whole thing about
Mhm,
stretch, we had to learn to
mhm,
stretch. I love that. I
mhm,
love it because
mm,
that is such a great explanation of what it is that
yeah,
we do, that we
mm,
had forgotten how to do. We had,
mhm,
for some reason, it used to be, before we had cell phones and everything took a second to get
mhm,
done, we
mhm,
stretched all the time. We did all kinds of
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah,
And now we remembered, oh, that's what we used to do.
right, cause I even when I see, black artists doing, country, I'm like, "Go good for you."
Exactly.
Good for you. Go on.
Me
Do
too.
do your thing. Don't let the society dictate that you cannot be a country artist. If you like that music, be that who you are. Just be authentic with it.
It is.
And that's how I always look. Whatever you do, just be authentic. Do
Live
it.
live that Napoleon Dynamite
Exactly.
thing.
There you go.
Just do
There you
that
go.
whole thing. Do you.
Mhm.
And the rest of it is just gonna work out fine.
Oh my goodness. Lisa, this has been awesome. I could sit here and talk to
Me
you all
too. I
night.
really this was great.
I know, I know. So I'm glad the urban influencers asked me to do this podcast with you because I'm ripping and running, and I just started my own jazz station along with doing this here. So
Oh my God.
I'm yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.